Um, but this has kind of caught a fire. As far as the reality shows, as far as the mainstream, trying to get mainstream acceptance, the personalities that have brought that out, and not just the Hollywood personalities, but the everyday Joe Blows that have started community groups and YouTube channels explaining why they have a poly relationship and why it might be good for you and you or me. So I want to know from you all, why do y'all think, or what do you think is the appeal amongst people to have these type of relationships? And I see Sweet's face. God, she said appeal. Who's appealed? They're appealed. They like it. Why? Why would y'all think? What are some of the things you think are the appeal to have a poly relationship?
I'll go first since you slightly called me out. And this is going to be a very basic answer that I could expound upon, but I honestly feel like it's greed.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Go ahead, finish.
No, I just feel like it's greedy. Like I want what I want, and I want who I want, and I want you and you and you and you too. And so because I think it does, you have to exercise a certain level of self-control to be with one individual.
Yeah,
that's true.
And I totally agree. I believe that's exactly what I was gonna say. They just greedy and lust, not being able to bridle that and control your own body. And so it's just like, let me just, get into all these relationships and then call it okay. Wrap a scripture around it so I can feel better about myself in the process of doing it. So that is my take on what I think, that whole situation is about. So,
yeah, for me, I know that greed was going to be one of the answers out there. And that's definitely, and lust, just by definition, I heard a preacher say this, it's a black hole. Lust is something that can never be satisfied. It doesn't matter. The more you do, the more you want. And that's just it. It does not satisfy. And I'll say another thing too. I thought about this because I even watched, and I didn't cite these, but I even watched some interviews of women who were espoused to one. They were wife number 1, 2, 3, sister number 1, 2, 3, whatever. And some of them said they wanted that type of lifestyle because, like, get somebody else to do it. I got help in here. I don't feel like having sex tonight. You do it. Yeah.
I'm tired.
I don't feel like having sex with him tonight. I don't feel like doing all the cooking. I feel like it's even a lazy in love. Lazy love. Like, we don't want to put in the effort.
Yeah.
It takes effort to love one person. And that's how my critique is. And we want to have this conversation. I thought about this too, to be, if there's anybody listening that is involved in those type of relationships, I don't want this to seem like it's bashing or anything, but it kind of becomes like, the lazy in love thing, and how much it takes a lot of effort to love one person, to get to know one person. And so I question how well you're loving multiple people. How well can you really, the effort it takes to love one person, to get to know them, to know their changes, to know, you know what I'm saying, to get to know them on the inside, to deal with their faults. How well are you really loving all these folk?
And nobody's getting jealous or, like, come on.
We're going to go there. Don't worry. You're going to get ahead of me. We're going there.
I was going to say the other part of that too. I feel like people have lost faith in the ability for people to be faithful.
That's so a good one.
As a result, it's like, well, ain't nobody.
You can't beat them.
Yeah, join them.
Can't beat them, join them.
Beat them, join them.
Especially
like,
women.
At least I know who he's sleeping with. So,
especially on the women side of it, because society has deemed men to be these individuals that cannot just be with one woman. And so I think that has gotten so deep in the consciousness of a lot of women that they're just like, that they begin to kind of settle in their minds in a sense, and and unsettling, rationalizing that type of behavior, and then it may lead them into that type of a lifestyle. But
yeah,
that's good.
And I also think that is an unfair judgment, because I'm glad you mentioned that about the thing about this thing of men, the belief that men can't. And I watched I hate this, I didn't cite this either, but I watched a couple. It's he's an ex-football player, Tuck, and his wife. They have a podcast, and he talked about that. He said, "Let me tell you something. I don't want to love multiple people. I can be faithful. You're comparing me," because somebody was using the comparison of in the animal kingdom. I think it was Dr. Umar Johnson. He said, in all the animal kingdom, all animals. And he said, you basically just called me an animal. He was like, I'm not no animal. I'm a human being. I can set myself with one woman. Now, do I have the desire? Have I ever had the desire for multiple? Of course. But I have the ability. Yeah. And he was like, I don't even want all them problems, all them issues, and all that come with trying to have 5 women in the house. No, that's how we know some of y'all lying. I'm sorry, I apologize. Come on. Some of you that are pushing this poly stuff and making it like everybody gets y'all lying, because that's a lot. That's a lot. It is. Some of y'all men is absolutely miserable, but you can't back up off your little lie you told everybody that. That this was the right and good thing to do. And you can't put all these women out your house that you got in your house now. But anyway.